What's up, guys? It's Mr. Gaming Counselor. Welcome to the Counselor's Office. This is my brutally honest review. I want to take the time to thank you guys for supporting the channel. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Hit the like button on the video. I would really appreciate it because I spent a lot of time on this video. I like a lot of different green screen stuff. I'm pretty proud. Please show it some love. And don't forget to share it with everyone. Put it on Twitter, Reddit, Twitter. Like, piss everyone off. I don't care. It's brutally honest. Let me know what your favorite part was, or if there was a certain skit that you enjoyed, let me know. As always, you guys are awesome. Yes, sir. I will also make sure that we make a new TWAB, making an apology to gaslight the community and make them come back. I'll get on it right away, sir. Yes, sir. No, I don't want to see your car, sir. Thank you. What the hell now? What is going on? Oh, God, not you.
That's great. It's me. It's Bunny's biggest supporter.
Sometimes I wish you weren't.
Here, I would just like to say that I've been doing my due diligence by finding the vile comment section on YouTube videos, on Reddit, and on Twitter. I've been telling everyone who's doom and glooming about the player population and how the game's so dead. I've just been telling you to go play another game, like, just leave. No one wants you here. So that's what I've been telling them, sir. I've been doing justice for Bungie.
Are you out of your mind?
Yes, sir. I've been making sure to tell everyone who's not loyal to Bungie to fuck off. That's right. I've been telling you, I've been making sure I'm arguing with them in the comment section, and I'm trying to annoy them, and telling them we don't need them. Only the most loyal Destiny players and Bungie followers deserve to continue to support and play this game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you not realize that we cannot function as a company if no one plays our games? No players equal no money. And daddy needs his money. Trust me, he's gonna be up my ass if you don't get me money.
Sir, your most dedicated followers are here to support Bungie. And listen, I'm here to buy 3 copies of the final sheet. That's right, 3 copies. And I only played one of them. I'm so excited to play my other 9 characters.
I'm sorry, 3 lonely nerds in their mom's basement circle jerking one of Dado's guide videos isn't going to save the company. You have been actively telling players to leave and play another game. What did you think that was gonna happen? They're actually playing games. Warframe, Marvels, what is it? Marvel Rivals? Well, they're rivaling us, and we don't like that.
But sir, I'm your most loyal follower.
Loyal? Because of you? I'm on thin ice because of you. If Skeletor makes another damn video, it's my ass Pete's gonna come after. And I don't want to see his car collection because we all know what happens after he shows you the cars. You can't even fundle my Bungie balls the correct way. If you're gonna suck, at least give me the Christopher Barrett treatment. Now, if you excuse me, I've got a TWAB to write to gaslight community. Episode 2, Revenants. You know, after the Colossal dumpster fire, that was episode 1, Echoes, with the fan fiction and the weird abusive lover situation. I thought, you know what, things couldn't get worse. And somewhere down the line, I guess Bungie took that as a challenge, because episode Revenant has not become a dumpster fire, it has become a colossal failure. Now, if you're new to the channel or the video, this is a brutally honest review. And I do these with complete honesty. I give you the truth, no ball fondling from me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, I'm not gonna water it, I'm gonna give you the facts. Episode 2. I wanna make it very clear, before we really start sinking our teeth, I want to give a fair assessment. I like the theme. I like the scorn. I liked the idea and concept of the story of Revenant. I loved having Salvation Onslaught. I love the idea of bringing back Contest of Elders into Destiny 2. These were great, but yet somehow, what should have been a surefire win, an easy home run for the community, turned out to be an absolute colossal failure. I don't know how Bungie manages to set the bar at a lower pace, but they are so fucking good. I think they deserve a medal at the Game Awards for it.
Hardcore community running out of content. This then rapidly spread to broader, more casual players, and eventually these problems spilled all the way out of our community and started creating a bad reputation for our brand in a major way, even amongst gamers who didn't play Destiny.
And that's why when I come with you guys with this brutally honest review, and I tell you that even though I like it, I'm not going to be blind to the fact that there's a large, overwhelmingly large amount of the community that does not like this episode because of the content and activities that was in it. For example, a lot of people don't like Onslaughts, surprisingly, or maybe it was this version, but specifically they don't like Onslaughts. Not only that, but there were more new players, casual players, and even veterans that were highly disappointed with this episode. And this is very, very obviously noted by the lower population. In fact, it is so low, it has hit a new historic level of low. In fact, at what point across all platforms, the level of the population was 50K. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's bad. That's really freaking bad. Especially when we're not even at the end of the content, we are mid-center of the content cycle. We weren't even at the end of the actual content. We were in the middle of it, Act 2, and the population went way down. It almost descended into nothing.
Meaning, we did the math, and if this continued for just 5 more weeks, we would run out of players. The entire population would be gone. And we were seriously looking at potentially being 1 month away from having to just close up shop on Destiny 2 altogether.
And let's be honest, Destiny isn't like Call of Duty or Fortnite, where you just play a little bit and you come on back.
We are hitting record low numbers for a game that regularly had 80,000 players. This is where we are at right now. And we are not at the end of a season. This isn't just the last week of a season with record low population or anything like that. We're like in the end of episode 2, act 2 of episode 2. There's still an entire another act for this game to come out. And we're during the Christmas holiday time, right? This is the time when everyone is at home.
Destiny has always been a looter shooter that wants you to invest your time. The whole concept of these kind of games is to encourage you to play a game for long periods of time in hopes that you will make purchases in the store, which we'll get to that aspect later in the game, or the review, should I say. A live service game that doesn't have a live population is dying. It's a dying game. But there are new games out, so of course other people are going to want to play them over Destiny. Really? We're going to go with that argument? Okay, think about that statement. How many live service games are out there right now? I'll give you 2 that come to the top of my head. Warframe and Fortnite. Definitely Fortnite. Probably one of the most popular, successful live service games out there. You've got these games that have high population count. Warframe, not the same level as Fortnite. Definitely bigger than Destiny right now. Fortnite, in the millions. Destiny would only dream to be in that realm. These games are able to maintain and compete against other games, and they've been doing it for years. They've been competing against old games and new the same. That's no different for Destiny. There will always be a new game. And if Destiny cannot compete, then it's failing to do its job at captivating an audience that is dedicated to play said game. It's a failure when it comes to being a competitor for players' time. And just because a game isn't in the same genre doesn't mean a game can't be a competitor. Destiny has many competitors when it comes to time. Players' time. Why invest time in Destiny as a live service model when there are other live service models that are superior in almost every functioning way? Functioning. Hold on to that for later. I would be amiss if I didn't take the opportunity to talk about power level. That's right. If you remember, and if you're new, before with seasons, it used to be where we always had an increase in power level. And then the community said, we don't like this. And Bungie said, you know what? We hear you. Hold on to that. We're going to hear a lot of that. So they said they heard us, and they made the change that only expansions would increase power level. That's right. We thought they're listening to us. Oh my God. Bungie's actually giving a big W to the community. Come Revenant. Bungie says, you know what? We heard you. We knew you loved grinding useless power level. We're bringing it back. That's right. And guess what? Grinding power level is still ass. So if retention was a problem and players were not sticking around for episode, why was it such a colossal failure? Why was it hard for Bungie to keep players invested in Destiny this episode? Well, first off, let's start with playability. You know, when you play a game, you hope that the basic thing is that it runs, that it functions, that when you click A, it goes A. When you go into a building, you don't crash. When you go and try to use a mechanic, it functions. The bare minimum of expectations is that the game itself is playable. Revenant has been the buggiest mess in Destiny history that I have ever seen. It doesn't matter how good the activities are. Contest of Elders, Onslaught, the exotic mission, even though I don't think that's that good. It doesn't matter because bugs ruin it. There were so many bugs that you could probably count everything that was right with this episode with your fingers. That's right, with just your fingers alone, you could probably count everything that was functioning in the game correctly. Even though we're not talking about it, the dungeon, Vesper's Host, because it's a separate paid product and it did not come with the season, it too, a paid product that was separate, was also filled to the brim with bugs. The free events, such as Vessel of the Lost, The Dawning, these were nightmares from launch. Especially The Dawning. It didn't even work. The Dawning didn't even exist. Now, of course, the free activities may not be directly linked to episode Revenant, but it does shine a light into the actual impact of the entire game and what Bungie was doing with this episode. All of these add together to shine the light on the fact that Bungie simply did not care.
And so if box products are in the business of over-delivery, live service is the business of constant delivery. And to provide that constant delivery to players, you need to be fast. You need to be as fast as your organization can possibly be. And so at Bungie, one of the key lessons that we codified here to shift our mindset is that velocity is more important than position. Like, your position is your game's quality right now. How good is it?
They're listening to you, but are they really doing anything about it? Now, I'll talk more about Tonics because they play a big part in the bug abilities, right? But Tonics overall this season weren't even functioning. You would try to focus one gun and get another. Onslaughts, the chest for the loot, only was being given to the first person that was opening them. Are you insane? A game activity that requires you to invest up to almost an hour, and you're going to tell people, yeah, that loot, yeah, that goes to the first person. I didn't realize we're playing PvP in a PvE mode. Let's see who can beat out who first to the loot, kids. It gets worse, man. Act 2, Contest of Elders. not only would the bonus chest not reward anything but Glimmer, but you could get soft-locked during the spider tank encounter because only 5 out of the 6 explosive tanks would spawn. The new exotic mission, players could get soft-locked on the final boss, which actually happened to me live on Twitch and YouTube. Skits I've done. Can I just go into it? Or did I drop the ball some? No shot. I can go in, right? Or do I didn't soft lock myself out, did I? No shot, right? No. There's no fucking way I found a bug. Like, how did that even happen? How do you even soft lock? You can't make this shit up, man. You just can't make this shit up. Which is funny because the same thing happened to many people on Encore. Like, Bungie, are you testing your craft? The exotic shotgun Callus quest doesn't progress as a fire team. That's right, that's a bug. You want to play as a team? Sorry, you can't do that. It's funny. Bungie is so quick to make dual destiny a co-op thing, but as soon as you try to do Callus together, no, you have to do that solo. I'm just joking. I'm just being an asshole. Now, as I was making this script, there was a glitch or bug that was going on where if you shot yourself, you would hurt yourself, which we kind of figured it would happen because it has like that ricochet effect, but it would also weaken you. And we thought that was a bug. But Bungie has come out since I made this script and I'm doing this recording and has come out and justified the reason for being weakening as part of the narrative. That's right. You shoot yourself, you get weakened for narrative. You know, I get narrative like for Touch of Malice and other guns that do self-damage, but a shotgun weakening you because it randomly ricocheted and hit you, not because you have to take damage like Tommy's Matchbook or, like I said, Touch of Malice, because those are intrinsic. No. This is going to weaken you because LOL story. I guess for all the people complaining that we are too strong as Guardians, well, guess what? You can be happy now because you can literally weaken yourself. But wait, there's more. That's right. You thought we were done with exotics and bugs for this episode. No. The exotic shotgun also doesn't stop healing of overload champions when you stun them. That's right. Intrinsically, it has overload and it's supposed to stun. It is dumbstrucking me. Like, I can't even speak correctly that an intrinsic anti-champion gun can't do its job because someone didn't test it. Even the seasonal rocket launcher is bugged. You can drop quick draw in both the third and the fourth columns. Now, I don't know, maybe it's not a bug, maybe it's intentional. I don't know who thought this was like worth anyone's time. Gotta be like Sonic. They're going swapping things. In fact, there have been so many issues with error codes that even PvP maps and strike maps are giving error codes like Qatar at an elevated rate. So Bungie has to go and disable them. Also, while we're talking about bugs, Bungie, I know I have unlocked Arc and Solar and Void. It's really exciting to get subclasses for the first time, but I think after the 8,099th millionth time, it gets a little old. Fix your shit. I could spend an entire video going over every single bug that has happened this season, but I think at this point, you get the drift. Microtransactions, we gotta add a bunch of armors. Hey, you like Street Fighter? Boom, make it happen. Oh, let's add Strand. Yeah, let's do some Strand armor. We got Stasis cooking. We should probably do that next. What the hell is that sound? What the hell now? Who the hell is it now?
Imagine taking a break from Halo Infinite to try the new Revenant Act 3 update. Lo and behold, my bitch-ass creators can't even make a functioning game anymore.
What are you doing here, Master Chief? What are you doing?
Destiny. More like Bugstony. At this point, Bungie has so many bugs in the game that Weevil Underwood could make a competent deck to beat Yugi Moto with them.
Listen, man, I don't get paid enough for this. I'm not the one you should be barking up. Talk to Pete. He's the guy you should be talking. I'm just the dude with the pad.
Crazy. How it didn't take Bungie activating the Halo ring to make its player population disappear. The Forerunners should have forced the Flood to play this season of Destiny. They would have starved to death. Players don't care about your excuses anymore. Fix your damn game, Bungie. If I come back, it won't be the fight that'll be finished. It'll be you that is. Did you heard that?
Come on, man. What else is gonna happen today? Seriously, can a guy get a break? I'm just trying to do my job here. Like, seriously. First I get a ball fondler, then I get Master Chief. What's next? It's not the only quality of life issues that we have in Destiny right now. In fact, PvP, yeah, let's talk about it. People love to say that Bungie is focusing all their attention on Marathon, their new PvP baby. This season actually kind of makes that statement very much believable. Everywhere you look, there are clips on Twitter, YouTube, and forums about blatant cheaters. Cheaters, not even hiding the fact that they are cheating. It is so bad that the community has gone on witch hunts to find cheaters. There are communities that are hyper-focusing on the data in order to flag possible cheaters. They literally have PhDs in cheateronomy. Even content creators are blatantly breaking terms of service in order to bully and pick on cheaters to get them to leave. Though, let's be honest, it's funny and well-deserved.
Fuck you, kid. This is what you get for cheating in my lobby in 2025.
But what's even worse is that even PvPE is being infected by cheaters.
Yeah, if you're wondering how well BattleEye works, we're seeing it in action.
But hey, at least you can look good by Hadoukening your enemies, am I right? Because we all know fashion is really the end game. Because that's going to be the only thing that's going to be left of this game. That's right, microtransactions Didn't think we're going to talk about it, did you? Of course we are. Listen, I'm going to dissect every part of this episode. And usually, and be honest, I don't care about microtransactions. They're usually not that big of a deal. You don't have to pay for them. It's not pay to win. It's completely optional in majority of games out there. I mean, really, I don't mind microtransactions. I mean, I kind of do for like specific reasons, but overall, I get the reason they exist for some games. The core parts of Destiny, the main content of Destiny, you have to pay more money. Not only is the content not working, like the dungeon, for instance, with the hot, buggy mess that it was at release, but they also ask you to pay for seasonal content, but expect you to be okay with more microtransactions. What's the point of giving Bungie money if it's not being used to make sure the fucking minimum of the game is that it functions?
This was that terrifying moment in February of 2018, but by the time Forsaken launched, 1 year in, our brand trust was back on track. Our retention had recovered from that precipitous drop after D2 launch. And only after we had solved for trust and solved for retention did we then actually start paying attention to the business again.
People support free-to-play games because they provide valid reasons, to support them. Bungie has done nothing to encourage support of this level of double dipping, hell, even triple dipping, quad dipping into micros. Hell, with the dungeon, Destiny is one of the biggest scams in the live service market. It's the only game that requires you to pay for not only expansions, but for seasonal content plus side products like dungeons, even cosmetics. What is worse, if the community didn't stand against Bungie, they would have started selling weapons too. Are we really going to forget and give Bungie a pass about the starter pack that they tried to release in Season of the Wish? The quality of life in the game is going down, and it's been going down since the final shade, but it is so blatantly obvious this episode. But the micros just keep going up. We've gotten 3 different cosmetic sets, which is a huge increase from previous releases. A Plague Doctor set, the Street Fighter collab, Strand Armor, and another set which is supposed to be Stasis was leaked, will probably come out later this episode. Not to mention, there's the Doki Doki set. The only saving grace on that set is that you could get it for Bright Dust. Where are the funds going? Marathon? It's definitely not into the quality control, that's for sure. Hence all the bugs this season. But hey guys, at least you can get the Doki Doki set for Bright Dust. You look really cute out there.
Face the witness.
There's a lot, so you better get to work.
Yeah. And then one of our players has actually been running around with a Blanca helmet, which is, so it's not one class that gets this. It's going to be Universal Ornament.
All right, now we're moving into the juicy bits, the real beef of the episode review, okay? Let's talk about the seasonal activities. The thing that you do when you pay for the season, there are 3 of them. There's Salvation's Onslaught, Contest of Elders, and Kell's Fall Exotic Mission. I really do want to stress, I really love Salvation's Onslaught. The additions that spice up really refresh the Onslaught experience. The additions felt refreshing and improved the experience of Onslaught, in my opinion. Contest of Elders, not only nostalgic, but it actually provided a newer experience that isn't a copy pasta of Destiny 1. I do think Bungie cooked with these activities. I think the success of Menagerie caused Bungie to overly focus and make every activity a 2.3.5.0 version of the Menagerie itself. They relied on the formula way too much, making players tired and bored of the formula, to the point where everyone felt like every activity was the same and was pointless. So I do want to give Bungie credit where credit is due by breaking that monotonous cycle of using the same formula. However, as much as I like these activities and I think they're amazing, they also have massive problems with them. Look, I like challenge. I really do. I think Onslaught is challenging enough. I think Conscious Elders was also a well-scoped challenge that most people should be able to get through. I do think that there's been a wide range of complaints that I don't feel are always justifiable, especially when people are complaining about difficulty in the game, especially coming from players whose the most hardest difficulty that they have faced is heroic public events, or only wanting to do ad clear in a raid with a rocket launcher. Listen, this is a brutally honest review. My channel knows me. They know that I don't always agree with them and that they don't always agree with me. But that's okay, because they know me enough that at the end of the day, I do more often than not speak up for the new casual players. So when I'm being brutally honest and I'm looking at a fair and objective viewpoint of activities, when we're looking at the overall level of difficulty and who it's meant for and who should be partaking, let's be honest, we're talking about seasonal content, not endgame, like raids or grandmasters. Onslaught requires you to spend at least around an hour to fully complete it. Conscious of Elders relies on LFG knowing how to read a screen. So you could have a nice, fun 30-minute experience, or you could spend an hour banging your head into the wall and not even getting bonus loot. But you like the regular Onslaught. How can you be fine with the Into the Light version, but not the seasonal one? Because Into the Lights was free. Everyone has to pay for Revenant. That's right. You want to play the season, the episode, you got to pay for it. It really isn't fair to have people pay for an activity that they can't even play or they're unable to play. Now, yes, I want to acknowledge that there are short versions of these activities. Yes, but they don't reward you for shit. Why isn't there an Onslaught that goes to around 25 or even 30 instead of 50? So you're able to farm for guns and those stupid ingredients that you need to make tonics that you can only get from doing those activities. There is no reason why seasonal activities should gatekeep new and casual players. Not a single one. Not everyone who plays the season has a full kit build or has the best weapons to handle the challenges that show up in these activities. Not only that, but again, I will continue to bash the living life out of the artifact system. Every season, I will do it until it's removed from the game. But how many activities include seasonal ones have champions? Think about it. How many? Every last one of them has some kind of champion. And guess what? New and casual players don't have access to seasonal champion mods right off the rip. Not only that, but they may not have an exotic weapon with intrinsic anti-champion capabilities built in already, or builds with abilities that can handle them. The whole system is new player and casual player unfriendly. You know, the people that you want to come check out your game, to check out the new season, yeah. How are you going to make new players if they can't even engage with the content? Which is funny because Bungie wants new players. They want the casuals to come play the game. So why aren't they making it easier for them to play the seasonal content, but they're making raids and other in-game activities easier than dirt? It's a baffling decision considering they want players to come back. They need the player population to come up instead of dying. Nothing is more attractive about a game than gatekeeping you from playing the non-in-game content. Yes, I am a veteran, so I'm able to deal with it. 99% of these issues don't actually impact me at all. But I do have to deal with LFG. And sometimes, personally, I don't want to spend an hour on Onslaught. I also don't want to do a Make-A-Wish run for people who don't know how to read Conscious of Elders. What Bungie should have done is very simple. Take the normal version of these seasonal activities and make them even easier with the exact same reward system they have right now. Then make the expert version the hardest version and increase the drop chance of double perk guns and triple the drop rate of tonic ingredients. Boom. That's how you make activities easier for your new and returning players and casual players, while also respecting the time and wishes of the veterans. They get a challenge, they get loot. Everyone wins. And let's not talk about the Kell's Vengeance version of Contest of Elders. Also, I have to talk about it. Yes, I've mentioned certain things, and I will continue to mention and maybe repeat certain things in this review, but I'm going to bundle everything about the Kell's Vengeance in one little category because it pisses me the fuck off. Noah, the guy that did Into the Light, showcased himself as a Chad, in my opinion, whether he was really playing or not. I don't know. That's how skeptical I am of Bungie now. But this dude is a gamer. I respect him. He made Contest of Elders. Bad freaking ass. I like it. And Kell's Vengeance is no different. It is the master version, the hardest version of Contest of Elders, and it is a throwback to Destiny 1. That's right, a throwback. Some of the mechanics for the Solless fight, Solless, is back in Destiny 2. It felt so good. Even though with LFG it's a nightmare, overall, it's a fun activity. It's challenging. It's what we want as veterans. But what's the reason to do it? A ship and an emblem. One of the probably best activities I've played in a long time. Fun, nostalgic, Contest of Elders in general. And it is the most unfucking rewarding activity we have. You give me a ship, you give me a emblem. You might as well just given me a fucking star and said, here's your participation. Listen, I think we need more cosmetics in the game, but you could have gave us a set, a fancy set, or an ornament, or something. You could have even gave us, guaranteed double perk drops. You know, the thing that people have been bitching about all season long, that the drop rates are abysmal and don't exist. Let's not mention that Act 2 released Contest of Elders. Kell's Vengeance released in Act 3, but not the week of the release. A week later, they time-gated the Contest of Elders version with Solless like 5-6 weeks later. It makes no sense that they time-gate content that doesn't even reward good content. Oh, you get a couple of guns. Wow, the regular version does it too. Oh, you get so many materials. I will tell you, Bungie is God tier. When they gaslight you into thinking you got a lot of freaking shit, I'll just tell you that's what it is. When you have 30 things raining from your screen and it's just materials for tonics. Man, thanks Bungie. I love crack.
Success, success. You best do Solless.
I would never been more disheartened knowing that the only thing of value is a cosmetic emblem and ship. This was a prime opportunity to force people to do a challenging activity. Just, you could tell that love and care was put into it because it was functioning. Probably the only thing that came out functioning was Kell's Vengeance. It was exciting. I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed raging and getting mad at myself for making stupid plays. I like the nail-biting time gating where I had to really quickly try to get through and kill things within a time limit, or it was an instant wipe. I love that as a veteran player. I eat that for breakfast. But you tell me I put all that effort in for a fucking emblem and a ship? I'm gonna do it one time and then say, fuck you, I'm gonna play Marvel Rivals. Last but not least, we have the exotic mission, Kell's Ball, where we get the Slayer's Fang shotgun. In some regards, I tolerate this mission much more than the Encore in episode 1. I will even say having Scorn Barons return is more refreshing than inserting a generic ass Hydra like Encore had as the final boss. Now, for now, I'll avoid the story elements of the exotic mission and focus on the mission aspects itself, including my thoughts on the Barons returning and all that. That's going to be main storyline, so hang tight. But overall, I liked the theme. I do. However, I think we need to address one of the big ass elephants that is still in the room right now. I think exotic missions have run their course. I think exotic missions, they're no longer working for me and majority of the community. We went from height of the community searching the cosmos of Destiny and finding the most hidden secrets to Kell's Fall, which feels like a lost cut of the Forsaken campaign. I mean, we think about Outbreak and Whisper and the absolute total community involvement. Hell, even the Black Armory Forge. We remember that, the secrets from that. People were eating it up for breakfast, and now you can barely get a whisper out of the community. Exotic missions have not only become soulless, they have almost completely lost their unique charm. Every modern exotic mission seems to get worse and worse and worse. Granted, I will say right now, the worst exotic mission we've ever had was Season of the Deep. It was literally a copy paste of the deep dives with a small section of new content for the actual exotic mission. But overall, exotic missions have become laughably easy and overall boring. There are technically 4 bosses in Kell's Fall. One of them is just the Trickster split into multiple fights, which I will praise Bungie for making the mission more battle-focused. However, the boss fights might as well be lost sectors. The bosses just literally roll over. They die if you barely sneeze on them. All you need is one Titan, and rip, they're dead. This is because Bungie has once again followed the same sleazy and lazy trend of attaching the exotic missions as a substitute for real seasonal story missions. Now, there is a secret boss that you'll have to beat for one of Ido's fieldworks, which gives a parts, which then allows you to get a nice pretty ghost shell, which is neat. Pretty annoying that the secret boss itself gives you nothing and his existence is tied to fieldwork, which we'll be talking about that eventually. Kell's Fall is so watered down, I think you could beat the whole episode with just a glaive melee. No supers, no abilities, no heavy, just glaive melee. And you could probably do it pretty easy. Also, can we talk about how the mirror mechanic is just a direct ripoff of the bell mechanic from Duality? It's literally 1 for 1. The mission is incredibly short, and maybe that's due to how quick and easy it is to run through the bosses. Save the final boss if I was messing around, but I never did more than 1 phase on any other boss. The best way to explain the exotic mission is it doesn't really feel exotic. It feels, like I said, a campaign mission that was supposed to come out with the Forsaken campaign, and they finally released it. After all these years, we got a secret hidden mission that was supposed to be a part of Forsaken all along. At least it's new player, casual friendly. I give you that. Good job, Bungie. The casuals and new players can play it with sticks, I guess. I will also praise Bungie for the neat organ feature. The community has been making some pretty sweet sounds. I think the overall secretive part of this mission is very underwhelming, as the codes are pretty easy to see and figure out. Once you know that you need to hit and unlock all the symbols, it's pretty easy. Also, it's pretty easy to figure out that you need to hit these hidden little glass globes in order to unlock the catalysts and upgrades. Again, I think I'd like to see less exotic missions and have just a couple that are well-crafted missions with interesting secrets that you can either run in 30 minutes or spend an hour exploring and getting into more engaging encounters. That also has a more rewarding experience overall. Again, overall, my thoughts on the exotic mission is great theme, poor development. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Tonics. Come here, Bungie. Into the Light introduced probably one of the best answers to RNG weapon drops we've had outside of crafting, which personally I was not upset that crafting did not return at first because real MMOs have loot chase. However, with the revelation of perk weighing and the fact that tonics themselves were bugged and not functional and not even giving the right weapons that you wanted, made the issue a little bit more outrageous and caused me to miss crafting just a little. Furthermore, in order to have access to these tonics, you have to farm the seasonal activities to get the materials to even make focusable loot. Bungie somehow removes crafting and in its place introduces a worse version of attunement. It wasn't until the end of Act 2 that they finally made the focusable attunement give 100% chance to give you the weapon that you wanted. But it still doesn't change how tonics are still inferior to general attunement like we did get in Into Light. Because with attunement, it just requires you to hit one button. But it doesn't matter because attunement was on 100% of the time. Meanwhile, you have to spend your time hunting materials to craft temporary retention bait tonics. Funny enough, this system has done more harm than benefit the retention of the episode. It made people not even want to play or care about the loot, which is worse. As I previously stated, when you do farm the materials, these activities only give you a handful. In fact, Bungie somehow made it to where you need to play the exotic mission over and over again for materials for, you guessed it, more tonics. And the community had to blast Bungie to the point that only a singular day had passed and Bungie had already announced that they were increasing the drop rates of materials. Which you could say, well, good on Bungie for listening to feedback, but they don't deserve praise for something they already knew was bad. Not only that, but the community has been complaining about tonics since day one of the episode. Let's not act like Bungie was in the dark about how the community feels about the system. Hell, forget attunements. People raved about the menagerie and how we love the weapon focusing system that it brought with it. In fact, I'd say if Bungie didn't realize how bad the drop rates were with these activities, it only further elaborates how disconnected they are from the community. Because anyone who actually cares after all these years would know exactly how the community would feel in regard to these changes. I mean, it's not like they didn't learn anything from Curse of Osiris and the public event drama.
Heroic. Now let's check this out. I promised before that this was the most rewarding public event. And there we have two chests for a change.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
But what is even more egregious is that it's not just the materials that you have to grind for. You also have to grind to unlock tonics themselves. That's right, attunement. Just click one button. That's it. You don't have to think about it. Tonics, you gotta go on adventures and have fun. JK, it's just chores. That's right, you go on fucking chores. You know, all those collect X, Y, and Z and go to random lost sector missions and kill random faction crap that, you know, the community has complained for years about. Well, guess what? Bungie removed those from the seasonal story. But instead of getting rid of them completely, they just made the quest the only way you get upgrades for the tonic lab. Making brewing easier, more efficient in Revenant, which you can't access at all with these quests without unlocking the tonic recipes first.
start because this is triggering. This is so mad. Okay, they said this was gone. They said this style of content was going away. You understand what this is? You pick 2 of these up and then you have to go get 9 total tonic recipes, and then you pick this one up, and then you got to get 12, and then you got to get more, and it just goes up every time. And then they limit you here, and we all know why they didn't time gate this seasonal quest, because we just finished it in an hour. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing to do. I know people are going to be like, see, we knew the content creators were going to complain. If you think an hour and a half or less of story was worth it, that's terrible. Like everything that we just did, the cutscenes were amazing, don't get me wrong. Seeing those cool cutscenes, I was impressed, but after like 5-6 steps, I'm like, we're done.
Yep, Bungie really listened to the community and made the changes we really wanted to see. Tonics are nothing more than retention bait. The side missions do provide some dialogue, but that doesn't really justify doing chores. One of the fieldworks is going to a random ass spot in the public space and killing 15 enemies. Like, who thought this was an improvement from the community feedback?
I can't smell.
We need to enter the public event. And there he is.
We did it.
You have to kill 55 X.
Where's the flower? To kill enemies in 2 minutes. Oh no! Not enough time! There we go. Dialogue!
Is that it?
Oh, but here's the real kicker, is that no one knew how to actually unlock every tonic. Bungie doesn't even bother give a toolbar tip to explain how to continue making base tonics in order to unlock the other rarities. There's a literal chart that shows you all the monotonous bullshit you have to do to unlock every recipe just to focus a handful of guns. Bungie somehow made attunement into algebra. You go spamming making green tonics, to which then unlocks the blue tonics, which you spam those, which then unlocks the purple tonics. By making the next version multiple times, that's not fucking explaining your seasonal activity. This isn't day 1 of Salvation's Edge trying to figure out the shape mechanic. Just give me my damn tooltip like every other fucking game. New season, new artifact. That's right. Let's talk about the seasonal artifact more in depth, shall we? This episode just seemed like the only thing that was valuable was the debuff the grenade launchers gave. Every mod this episode either was underwhelming or was bugged and didn't even work. Even Act 3 introduced the Deathbringer mod, which does SMG damage. It seems like it was bugged. Maybe it's intentional. I don't know if it's not worth its salt. All of Act 3 mods were made in an attempt to make the exotic shotgun better than what it actually is. Lastly, this is the second episode that we get all these extra mods for Act 2 and Act 3, but yet we've still not gained any more points. I think, especially toward the end of an episode, it would be okay to have a little bit more flexibility in mod options, since the time is pretty much limited to 6 weeks that we have left. I don't think having a couple of extra artifact mods unlocked would dramatically destroy the ecosystem of the game. Now, bugs will, but honestly, outside a few of the void ones, most of these are pretty lame. Like, most of the mods this whole episode are boring, lame, and they didn't really inspire much build craft other than what build was already good. If you could slot it in, guess what? It got slightly better. But it didn't do anything to actually change the needle of making me want to use something other than what I've already been using this whole year of the final shape. All right, you all have been waiting for it. Let's talk about loot. Now, I'm going to start off with the Season Pass. I'm no longer enchanted with the Season Pass. I still think if you're a newer player or even a casual, the value is absolutely there, but maybe for the wrong reasons. Mostly because 80% of the Battle Pass is materials, which will benefit a new player who has none, but at the flip side, the game should do a better job of setting up players who are new and coming into the game with a decent surplus of material to get started, which Destiny doesn't do that. Not only that, But for some reason, Bungie decided to do something different and actually gave out god rolls or rolls of weapons that are good enough to bypass the RNG farm, which they encouraged by removing crafting. Which for a non-crafting episode, like I said, that's kind of a light in the dark for you crafties out there. But for everyone else, like myself, the battle pass is just full of fluff. Play any other game with a battle pass and you'll get more than 10 cosmetic skins or characters or guns. Destiny, however, you get 1 armor set and 1 cosmetic set. And granted, even the armor set you can get outside of the battle pass. Not only that, but deep sight harmonizers, which unlock craftable weapons, is no value this season. Like, the pass gives you a bunch of them, but you have nothing to spend it on except the Garden of Salvation raid or any previous craftable loot, which is nice to catch up on, but you can only carry 5 at a time. You get more than 5, by the way. I don't understand why we have a capacity cap of paid material. Yes, paid. You can't get these any other way than buying a battle pass, but for some damn reason, you only get to carry 5 of these harmonizers at a time, with the battle pass having more than that. Which, by the way, that battle pass goes away. Yes, there is a hidden workaround that the community has found out, but it's not very obvious, and it seems obviously not intended by Bungie to work like this, because they're not going out of their way to advertise it, nor explain it so other people who may not be attached to Reddit or Twitter 24/7, they may never know about this system at all. Not only can you only hold 5 in your inventory, you can't even put them in your vault. Your vault. You know, like RuneScape, you have the bank, you can put everything in there. They also shoved the seasonal exotic catalyst into the pass. It used to be you just got it from Banshee for picking up the exotic weapon from the pass. But apparently material wasn't just enough to fluff out the pass, so they slapped the catalyst in there, but not for the first act. You have to wait 6 weeks to get the access to the second act and the other half of the battle pass. Overall, Bungie fluffs the season battle pass and gives very little in return. Hey dude, you wanna play some Fortnite later?
What? Are you crazy? Why would it ever be Destiny? Have you seen our battle pass? We got all this cool, sweet stuff.
Oh, Destiny's battle pass? I mean, have you seen Fortnite's battle pass? Give me a second. Like, dude, there's so much stuff on this battle pass. They even got Master Chief is set. It's badass. They're even introducing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, that's so cool. God of War? We got it, baby. Borderlands? Oh, man, I love playing a bandit.
Well, you see, we got all this cool material. I got this material and this material. It's really nice because I can store it on the pass and I don't have to worry about not running out of space. It's right there. It's very handy.
Whoa, wait a minute. So Fortnite, we have the battle pass that has pretty much a bunch of skins, has camo and different cosmetics, but your battle pass has material? Like material that you can farm in game. That's what you have. You're paying for material that you could just earn by playing the game itself. You don't have more than like 1 skin. That's what you're telling me.
Well, we get 1 skin. We get this 1 skin. It's really cool. In fact, the skin for the helmet gets an alternative skin. It's really cool. It's right.
But what you're telling me is I was right. You only get 1 skin. It doesn't matter if your helmet gets a different ornament. Master Chief comes in his regular form. He also is black. But guess what? There's other characters I can play as and have different cosmetics to go with it. Crazy, right?
See, this is why we can't have a conversation. I'm tired of you people. It's always, this game is bad because of X, Y, and Z. Like, if you're not going to understand how I feel and where I'm at, we can't have a conversation. This is a problem with you Destiny haters. You're never willing to see from someone's perspective, and it's always our fault. It's always the game is bad. You're never really wanting to have a conversation, okay? I'm just gonna go somewhere else because you don't appreciate the conversation we're having here, because Destiny is an amazing game and you're just jealous that we have such a high population.
Well, first off, you're the one that started a conversation about value, and I was just telling you Fortnite's value. And secondly, I'm pretty sure Fortnite has like times 10 the number, the player base, and active players, like we're over like a mil. Like, what are you? Are you making a $150 at this point?
You know what? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, okay? You're just like everyone else complaining on the internet about how Destiny's good. You know what? I don't need you. I've got Destiny. That's right. Who's got you? You know I love Destiny. I love you. I love you.
What the fuck is wrong with him? I just asked if he wanted to play Fortnite. The fuck? Weapons. We love weapons. We love it. That's why we play looter shooters. Heck, I played Borderlands for hours trying to find the perfect loot for my character build. Same thing with Destiny. If you want a full breakdown of the weapons, check out my honest review of the weapons themselves. I'm not going to go into absolute detail with every role and what you should chase. Check out that video instead. Most of the weapons this season are mid. They're not bad. I'm not saying you should disregard them completely, but if you have something that's better, don't waste your time. They're not the best compared to the hundreds and hundreds of options that we have in the game right now. The biggest pick this season, I will say, is Liturgy for Chill Clip for PvE and Chroma Rush for PvP. Again, check out the video. But you'd be surprised how many people actually agree with me that the loot is overall mid, and that even the season pass gives you the God roll Liturgy and some of the other weapons, decent rolls that you can just skip the farming. Like I said earlier, splitting weapons by act was and still is a horrible choice. It made people care even less about playing. People would rather wait to the end of the entire episode and then start playing and farming these weapons than farming each individual weapon throughout the act. The exotic pass weapon, Alethrium, the exotic breach load grenade launcher, it's all right. It has its moments. It's the stasis exotic of Mountaintop. Though the exotic catalyst is very underwhelming with One for All, when Chill Clip and any stasis synergy perk would have been welcome. There is zero synergy, and it would have made more sense with a stasis weapon to have that synergy. The idea that it's stasis makes zero sense when there's no perks that makes us any synergy at all. All right, here we go. Slayer's Fang, the new exotic mission shotgun, the newest addition of the growing roster of exotic weapons. I don't do exotic guides or reviews, so I'll give it to you straight. I'll give you the skinny, but first, I want to apologize. I would like to take this opportunity to publicly apologize to everyone, as I was a doubter of Choir of One. Last episode, I said it was copium that this was a good exotic. I thought it being bugged, that Bungie was going to nerf it after they said they were going to nerf it. I thought it was going to be nerfed to the ground and that people were just coping to straws, hoping that this thing would still be broken. And I said it was trash. I'm here to say that I am a believer in Choir of One. I am a Choir of One stan. I am singing to the choir. I am one with the choir, and I just want to say that I was wrong, and I truly apologize. I want to apologize to my mom, my dad who's dead. I want to apologize to my sisters who don't love me. I'm sorry. I ashamed the family name by saying that Choir of One was ass. I'm so sorry. With that apology out of the way, I just want to say Slayer's Fang is mid as fuck. In a world where shotguns are more prized in PvP and they're used mostly for utility in PvE, such as 1-2 punch perks, or if you're a tractor cannon main who's using double shotty for swaps, most likely you'll get this exotic and you'll put it in the vault and hope that next episode it actually gets buffed. It's crazy that Bungie had to make artifact mods just to make this weapon more enticing. When I think of goated shotguns, I think of conditional finality. But it's void, Mr. Gaming Counselor. Oh, sorry. You're right. We do have a void shotgun. It's called Choir of One because it hits like a shotgun and has better ammo economy. I'm sorry. Any gun that requires you to get a kill on ads to activate its main effect is already not worth the time. It's meant to deal with chunky targets. Again, conditional finality exists and you have to do nothing with it. If I'm needing void, I'll use choir. But the weakening. First off, it's a 15% debuff. We have better options. Secondly, we have an LMG that also debuffs targets and no one used. Like the power scaling in Destiny is so wide that a gun that does a 15% debuff to targets isn't even impressive anymore. How many videos have we seen of seasonal weapons and they're like, wow, amazing, best in slot, crazy broken, nasty, wow. Can we agree that veteran content players can make blue guns look good? Like seriously, how many of these seasonal weapons do people gloss and glow and then you never see them use it again?
What is up? It's your boy Skinny Penis up in here. That's right. And I'm going to show you guys the guard roll for red tape. That's right. This thing is nasty. It's the most nastiest thing you ever seen, boys. That's right. You're going to want to check it out. It's nasty in PvP, but it's god tier in PvE. That's right. Let's check out. I've got the guard roll, the 5 out of 5. That's right, stability. You need some stability if you're gonna land on some heads, yeah? Oh, we got ourselves chamber compensator. We've got flared magwell. Gotta be a reload fast. No, that 4th time's the charm. Who doesn't like getting their 4th off? That's right. I don't know about you ladies, but I like getting my 4th off. And of course, the best perk in the game, headstone. I don't know about you, but I am stone hard when I use this. Nothing's better than head. Am I right? Stone. Now, I know this head seeker, but that's more for PvP, and trust me, I love some head seeker. That's why I gave my ex-girlfriend a nickname as. That's right. You're gonna want it in every raid group and every GM. We're gonna take this bad boy out into a spin and some in-game content just for you. That's right, my boys. So we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna make sure we pop our acrobatics. Bam. We are now radiant. Boom. Get those headshots. Make sure you land those shots. Look at the content. Look at the damage. Look at that. Oh, you see what's going on? The explosions. Bam! In your face. That's right. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. Boom. Headshot. We're going to get some kills. Oh, where's the boss? We're going to do some damage. Let's check out the DPS. All right. Boom. Look at the damage. That's right. The damage. You'll be able to take on raid bosses like a champ. That's right. We're going to get right in there. Look at that. Bam. It's so good. Absolutely disgusting. Nasty. Nasty. Look at this. Clearing out the trash like it's nothing. Look at this. He's going to try to mess with us. We're going to shoot him right in the head. That's right. Oh, we got to back up. We're going to get acrobatics. Boom. We're radiant. Now we're going to do the maximum damage. Look at that. Look at that gun. Beautiful. Nasty. Absolutely nasty. Look at that damage. Boom, boom, boom. 4 times activating. And just like that, we got some head. Hit the like button, comment down, and subscribe. This thing is God. It is amazing. It goes fantastic. You need to have it. Trust me, no matter what, this is one of the best guns in the game. You gotta have it.
You see, modes like Onslaught succeed when you have loot like Midnight Coupe, Edge Transit with amazing rolls. That's why people loved Into the Lights. When you put mid loot into a great game mode, but a game mode that requires time and energy, it kills the motivation for people to want to actually play it, which is exactly what happened this season. If you tell players that they can't craft these weapons, but the weapons themselves are worse than world drop weapons or even the dungeon weapons, no one is going to play the content. What's even worse, Bungie introduced shinies, or at least the unshiny versions in this episode. It's just guns with double perks that are masterworked. No special skins, no cosmetic fanciness. It's like getting an unenthusiastic hand job. Ask Christopher Barrett what that's like. Seriously, nothing brings chase like unique forms. That's why shining hunting is very popular in games like Pokemon. People are playing decades-old games just to shiny hunt pixels. Even worse, the drop rates are abysmal. For some reason, Bungie decided to be stingy compared to the shiny rates of Into the Lights. It doesn't make sense. Did Bungie think people would just farm the double perk weapons and then dip out quickly? Because that's what's happening anyways with garbage drop rates on mid weapons in the first place. All right, we've waited long enough. Now let's jump right into one of the main parts of Revenant, the story. You know, the thing that either you like or you don't like. Overall, most people do enjoy or try to enjoy the story of Destiny. Again, I really do enjoy the theme of this episode. Maybe it's just for the fact that this story leans heavily on the nostalgia bait that is the Forsaken expansion. You know, that really good expansion you probably hear about if you're a new player, but you can't actually enjoy it because it's not even in the game. But yes, this episode leans heavily on those characters and those plot points. It's really unfortunate you have to watch like a 3-hour My Name's Bye video to understand what the fuck is going on. Yes, I want you to go ahead and sponsor Bye and whoever else does the lore. Like, does anyone even care about the lore? I want you to go ahead and sponsor them to do like, let's say, ask him to do like an hour video, right? About Revenant. And tell him to make it sound really good and convincing. Make sure he looks up like all through the guns and all the lore tabs. Just make it sound like we made a really good story and gaslight the community. What the hell now?
Hey kiddo, it's been a minute. I was expecting with my sacrifice things wouldn't be a dumpster fire around here.
Fuck! What do you want, Nathan?
So, I love me some throwbacks. Just ask Petra. But I've got to say, I think it's starting to get a little old teasing vaulted content. But instead of putting old assets into new content, you know, actually bring back the vaulted content.
Listen, Kate, or Nathan, whoever the hell you want to be. Nostalgia is the backbone of Destiny. Do you know how long we've lasted? Especially Destiny 2, we have literally dripped, squeezed all the nostalgia from Destiny 1 to keep Destiny 2 alive. Hell, why do you think we brought back all the old raids? Because every time we did it, it kept the season going. It works.
Seriously, you can't bring me back a third time to save this franchise. As much as I love the attention I get, I think it's time Bungie listens to the community. Who thought it was a good idea to remove crafting and then force players to do chores in order to get access to focusing? You're more of a cock than the Colonel is, and that's saying something, considering he's an actual chicken.
Anyways, it was nice talking to you, Kate, Nathan, you know, whoever, you're obviously doing some cosplay. It was nice chatting with you. But just like Destiny 2, you're getting a little old. So we gotta do the new. Don't worry, we're gonna introduce another EXO that looks just like you, but we're gonna call it Kelsey instead. Kelsey 7. That's right, you see what we did there? A new EXO that's supposed to be the trick, like he's supposed to be funny, charming. Kelsey 7. People are gonna love it. All right, time gating. That's right. Let's just talk about it. Now, I know you're probably confused. I thought we were talking about story. Why are we talking about time gating now? I think this is probably mostly a problem across the whole expansion, but I do want to make sure we're talking about time gating here with the story because it kind of ruins the flow of the story. Now, for years, people have criticized Bungie for the seasonal delivery, drip feeding content rather than releasing it all at once, like majority of games that players play. Like seriously, majority of the Destiny 2 community wants all the content unlocked. They don't want to be fed like a baby. I can't think of any other live service game that has this amount of time gating. Sure, there's maybe weapon rotations or some kind of rotator going on, but it's not time gated to the fact that you purchase something and you can't even play or consume that content. And I'm gonna be honest, most of these live service games are free, so you're not even paying for it. It takes 15 weeks with episodes to get full access of what you paid for, to get the full access of what the season has to offer. What is worse, you think people are going to remain just for the story beats? Of course not. Do you think they're going to remember what they are? Absolutely not. I don't understand how a company that continues to act like it's listening to the players, but actively does everything it can to actually not do what the community wants. We hear you. We still aren't actually doing what you want us to do, though, because we want to make sure you don't burn through all the content through one calendar day. Bitch, I paid for it. Let me play how I want. I go buy a new, brand new game. Let's say Wukong. I play the new Black Myth Wukong, and I burn it out in like 2 days. Who's gonna be upset that there's nothing else to do? My fault, but I paid for it. I should be able to decide how long and how much I want to run through and play the content that I paid for. Imagine a company tells you how long you can drive your car. You want to drive it all day? No. You can only drive it for 3 hours a day, and you can only do it 10 hours a week. Then you have to wait 3 weeks to be able to drive it again, and then you can go back and drive it some more for 3 more hours a day for 10 hours a week. And it's pathetic that Bungie has no faith or confidence that their own game can't retain players on its own. That the content itself is not able to retain players by just the joy of being able to play it. Act 1 was a solid introduction to the story. Immediately, Thickrell displayed himself more of a threat than the Witness.
That's not good. What the heck did I just watch? Yo, what are the... Bro, the bots! No! Rest in peace, Bob! Wait, how is she still normal? Wait, the helm's being destroyed? I have so many issues with this.
Of the final shape ever did. Thickrell brought down an entire ship. Meanwhile, the Witness decided to fondle it instead. Not to say that destroying a ship is the most impressive thing a villain has ever done in any franchise, but considering the most impressive thing Maya Sundaresh was able to do was abusing her digital lover, I'd say the bar for Destiny villains has never been lower. I just like to make fun of it because Aramis just dropped off the face of the earth. I don't even think she was in the final shape. We had an entire year after Season of Defiance. She's there and then she's gone, and then suddenly, hey, she's now a key figure in the story. We're gonna put her and solve her situation in a total of 9 weeks. Venrix, finally after years since the release of Beyond Light, I guess he was AFK at the key, he logged out. He decided to come back in just to see what was going on, just like the rest of people in Destiny do. And Mithrax, who has been a part of the story for quite some time, like I said, all the way back since Season of the Splicer, starts showing signs of Nezarec taking over with the curse. Act 2 is Soulless. We did get one of the best cutscenes I think I have ever seen in seasonal content. And again, that's because it was leaning on nostalgia.
Skolas, he lives. Do you see it, Guardian? Memory of Reef Wars long ago. Years of hubris and bloodshed.
But even if it was leaning on nostalgia, I will absolutely give credit where credit is due. The cutscene is so good, man. I appreciate it. It's so short, but it's so good. Because not only is that the most exciting part of the entire story, it's also the last time you see Soulless in the story, too. I'm not kidding. We spend all of Act 2 chasing Fickrel because of the center of the story is finding out what Fickrel's wanting. What is he doing? He's in the prison. What is he searching for? Just to find out it was Soulless. When we confront Soulless, we kill Soulless, and then Fickrel comes back and brings him back to life, and they both teleport away with each other, dancing in the meadows.
Oh, hey, Fickrel. You want to die too? Let's go, baby. Wait, what?
We cannot win this battle, Guardian.
Wait, you can just keep bringing him back? Someone want to help? You just retreated? Why?
The story is not only short, but it was so rushed. When it ended, it left it on this cliffhanger, and I feel like the story was just starting. We spent all of Act 2 setting up his return, and his ass is sidelined up until the Kell's version of Prison of Elders. A week later, Soulless returns. You fight him, you kill him, but then you get the cryptic message that, oh, I don't think this is the end of him. I still sense ether.
The wolf Kell is felled once more. Yet, Varric's worries. Soulless does not go quietly. Varric's will study these biosigns, Guardian. Perhaps it is nothing.
Or something along those lines, just addressing the fact that, hey, Soulless may not actually be dead. We might see his ass turn into Tonics. If that isn't the perfect example of nostalgia bait, I don't know what is. Soulless was the only plot in Act 2, and in Act 3, nothing. He has no part to play in the main story at all. It makes no sense that you would have such a build-up in Act 2 just to not even utilize it. It feels like Act 2, they were really going for this massive showdown with like all the two villains and all these other antagonists, even Aramis, who's kind of like a frenemy. Like we and Nezarec with a curse creeping up. There were all these different plot points going on, and it felt like Bungie was reaching for this badass storyline, and then somewhere down the line, management was like, you know what? Sorry, that's over delivery. We don't do that here. I'm sorry, I had to put that in there somewhere in this review.
I said that box products are in the business of over-delivery. Over-delivery is actually dangerous for a train station. With every release that you put out there, you're setting a pattern for your community and for your players. And so if we release an expansion with 2 raids, let's say, next year, our community is going to be upset if we go back to only 1 raid. We've hurt the station by making a rogue decision on just one of the trains to over-deliver. But at the same time, and this is why this lesson is painful to us, is because so much of quality and like delight in our craft comes from over-delivery, right? Like it comes from giving folks stuff above and beyond what they expected. And we still want to do that. We still want to surprise and delight and sometimes even overwhelm our players. But we need to be mindful of the patterns that we're creating, the implied future commitments that we've set for ourselves each time. Because it's hard to tell a team that has extra cycles and they have energy and they want to do something amazing and they know how to do it. And it totally would be amazing and awesome for the game. Sometimes we have to tell them, like, we shouldn't ship this because it's an over-delivery that is going to set us up for failure on future trains.
But it really does. It feels like that was what was going on. Someone had a vision. I can almost see the vision. It would have been a badass experience. In fact, it would have made sense to be a fucking expansion. Which also, talking about Soulless and the Barons, apparently corpses are just stored everywhere in the Destiny universe where everyone has access to it. Like, what is it with Bungie and dead character bodies still lingering around and surviving? Like, does no one fucking bury people in this game? Like, Instead of trying to build and flesh out a core story beat in Act 2, Bungie decided to shove everything important into singular acts. The core points were, and I'll list them for you, the redemption arc of Varix, the redemption arc and conclusion of Aramis, the conclusion of the Fickrel of Crow story from Forsaken, the conclusion of Nezarec's curse, and the conclusion overall of the Kell's legacy story. That's dated all the way back since the House of Wolves, with Softlocked it being introduced. That's a lot of things to try to wrap up, and what is worse, it is all done in one exotic mission. Now, I want to make things very clear that normally how Bungie imagined episodes be, it would be 3 weeks of each act. So they intended you to run this exotic mission for 3 weeks. Now you get to run the exotic mission for 3 weeks in 1 day if that's what you want to do. But essentially the formula is still the fucking same. First things first, can we stop giving everyone a redemption arc? Everyone? Seriously? Like, how do we go from killing Aldrin and Forsaken, killing the Taken King, to sing Kumbaya around the campfire with every villain we meet? What is this, Naruto? We using Takno Jutsu? Through the power of friendship, we can do all things. Can we have people die for once? I mean, really. I mean, in a good way. Like having Mithrax not be saved? Hell, that would have been amazing. Imagine if he get turned into a Dread version of himself, like a fusion of Nezarec and Mithrax, having us have it to kill him, having to fight Fickrel, and then Nezarec just steals the Echo, and there could be this epic showdown of Aramis and Softlocked and Fickrel and Varix fighting against the final god of pain one last time. How fucking badass would that be? Now, that's definitely some fan fiction that I just came up on top of my head, but it sounds infinitely better than the fucking story we got in this episode. Yes, we literally kill Fickrel with an immortal being with an ex machina. But before we get there, let's roll things back in the story, shall we? Act 3 concluded by doing the exotic mission, Kell's Fall. Not only is there no actual real final mission, you do the exotic mission 3 times for the story alone. 3 times. It wasn't acceptable in episode 1. It wasn't acceptable in Season of the Wish. Stop the lazy and shitty execution of making exotic missions the delivery method of your fucking story. It's the same mission over and over and over again. The only thing that changes is the final boss and the dialogue. Every shitty story that I know, the way they solve the main problem is an ex machina. Every low-ranked video game, every low-ranked, movie, ex machina. That is it. That is how you kill your game. That's how you kill your story, is inserting a shitty ex machina. Not even a good one. Oh, the Varix story? Yeah, he gets some dialogue in the exotic mission that leads to his redemption arc. In one of the runs, and that's it. And that's it. That's all. The only thing you get from Varix is just some random ass dialogue that's supposed to wrap up his storyline. Yay! Mithrax becomes the Kell of Kells. But before that, before he's taken over by Nezarec and the curse, suddenly the Echo apparently chooses Aramis after talking to her. So Aramis obtains the Echo, and we see Reese and like a holo projector, because we know you love holo projectors. So Aramis gets the Echo, and suddenly ass blasts Nezarec out of Mithrax with Paracausal light.
First and last, there are no others.
How did she know how to freaking do this? Did she guess that it would heal Mithrax, or did she say, you know what, if it kills him, it's okay. Either way, we'll get rid of Nezarec. Also, if the Echo had the power to blast paracausal energy, why do we never see Fickrel do that? Like, how does Aramis learn to do it, but Fickrel learned to bring things back from the dead from like 15 years ago, or not 15 years ago, but feels like 15 years ago, and make them part of his army, but he doesn't know how to use the Ass Blast 5000? Like, he seriously could have used the Echo against us. And in the story, he never uses it. He just summons and brings up some dead dudes, and that's kind of the most threatening thing Fickrell does, besides shocking us with electricity that he's always had. I feel like the Echo was just an excuse to reuse old bosses for nostalgia. So the story ends with Mithrax fine, Fickrell dead by the COVID shot, Nezarec ass blasted, Aramis goes on vacation to try to bring back Reese, which I don't know how she's going to repopulate. Is like the plan for Aramis to go back to Reese that, you know, just that's destroyed and bring back dead people with the Echo? Is she going to be fallen Jesus? Is that what we're getting here? She's going to become fallen Jesus? I feel like Echoes only do what Bungie wants them to do, or they randomly decide, you know what, I think I'm going to have to do this Ex Machina just to make it make sense and to fix the bad writing they come up with. The whole story of Revenant was rushed, and it felt like it didn't do justice for some of these characters that Bungie has been building up with. A lot of the build-up, no real payoff. Even Aramis, whether you love her or you hate her, she had so much build-up as a villain, and she felt the most rushed, especially into a redemption arc that I don't think she deserved.
Need her intel.
Luckily, I don't.
How is she in prison?
I think the story with Nezarec and the curse was also rushed. It felt like you could have removed Mithrax and nothing would have actually changed in the overall story. Funny enough, I guess the Scorn are free to stay, including the Barons that Fickrell did resurrect again on the final run of the exotic mission. The Echo killed the final God of Pain's curse, but it's too dangerous to cure the Scorn, even though we literally killed the Witness. I'm not sure what classifies as safe. If Guardians that literally killed the embodiments of darkness, the literal being that stood toe to toe with the Traveler, but using the Echo to cure the Scorn is where we draw the line as too dangerous. And can we talk about holo projectors again? We can't use the excuse that Bungie worked on these episodes ahead of time so they couldn't change anything as the excuse for this. We've said it for years that we do not care for holo projectors. It's lazy. Even more so when they transfer the radio transmitter to just go do X, Y, and Z item in the hub area. Like a random ass corner, there's a book that you pick up or touch, and then suddenly you get a, hey, I'm on the radio now, thanks for touching my book.
Seeing some comments online and some notable conversations about, you know, go talk to Vendor X, head over to the holodeck and say hello to this other person. Go back to Vendor X and shake their hand one more time.
Yeah, starting with Revenant, and especially when we get to Apollo, we're going to be deliberately shaking it up.
Welcome to my most lucrative customer. I hear your Scorn hunt hit a dead end, so to speak. That might be a problem I can solve.
It's us bonkers too. Yeah.
It's glaringly lazy here. There will be moments you're talking to a character on a holo projector who is 2 feet away from you, and you go back and forth, back and forth. All right. I'm so excited to kick off this week. All right, who do I need to talk to? Oh, I need to talk to that guy. Oh, well, he's over there. I guess I need to go wait, what? My quest tab says I need to go to a holo projector. But why? I just walked right past the guy. He's right there. He's right. You know what? Whatever. All right. I'm going to talk to you.
Guardian, good to see you. We got another task for you. It's a lot of boring shit, but here you go. Oh, by the way, go find me. Come find me.
But why? I just walked right past the guy. He's right there. He's right. You know what? Whatever. All right.
Back to the holo projector. I've got something important to talk to you about.
Okay, that's great dialogue.
Guardian, good to see you. You're always doing a great job with these tasks. Hey, I need you to come speak to me personally. Thanks.
What? Huh? Okay.
No.
What?
There.
What?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah?
There, over, no, yeah, over here. So, hey.
What the fuck is going on? Fix your damn game, Bungie! This is boring as fuck! Overall, this episode has given me less faith in the future of Destiny to take core characters, core story that has been around since House of Wolves, and this is the resolution we've received. I have no faith for Frontiers. How can the content meant to wrap up these core stories of light and dark characters that we've loved or hated, how could the content that's meant to wrap up the stories are the ones that rush through them the most? And leaning on nostalgia instead of creating a product that has soul and passion in it that automatically pulls players into it naturally. But the over-reliance and nostalgia is not working anymore. And for that reason, that's why episode Revenant was a colossal failure. This has been a brutally honest review from Mr. Gaming Counselor. Again, this might be Titanic going down, but I'll be out there on the floaty documenting and giving my criticisms and analysis of the ship sinking as I watch as those desperately clinging to the ship for dear life, hoping that maybe the boat will keep rowing. But until then, while this game is sinking, I'll keep making content for you until the icy cold drifts us away. Until next time, don't forget to be the best version of yourself and game out. Huzzah. Oh, man, this game actively gives me depression. I really am going to need a therapist after this game. Please, I've heard enough. I'm tired of everyone rolling me. You know what? You know what I think? Fuck it. I quit. I'm done. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Sony. Fuck Bungie.